try and go and come back in good time for the evening of fellowship.
This is the team of men on this Muslim outreach journey. We're learning about the work that the Lord has done in establishing this church and this community. Stand over here. It's too bright behind you. Thomas, could you just briefly summarize the work here? How did this all start? When did it start, and where is it at today?
Thank you for coming. Thank you for asking. This work started around the early part of the 21st century, around 2002, 2003, and it was started by a couple, an indigenous missionary couple, Joseph and Joyce Zuba. You know, Joseph Zuba is an accountant who met a lady who was attending the Assemblies of God Bible College in Monrovia, and he said he wanted to marry her, and she said, well, I believe that God is calling me to be a missionary, so are you interested in following me to the mission field? He said, sure, I'll follow you wherever you're going. So he ended up going to Bible school too, and then they left everything and moved into Grand Cape Mau County, which is a Muslim-dominated part of Liberia and a totally unreached people group as far as missiological, standards are concerned. And so they packed up their stuff and said they were coming to Cape Mount. They believed that God was calling them, 2 hours drive from Monrovia. And their family said, are you crazy? You are an accountant, you're leaving, your work and going to live, in the bush as savages. How are you going to survive? But they obeyed God and came. So they came over here and they spent like 5 years. And in 2008, when I was serving as the director of missions for Samaritan Spurs, God made our paths to cross. And then they shared what they were doing here with me. And then the Lord, placed a burden on my heart to support them. So where you see this blue and white building now, this church, it was a bamboo structure with palm branches, that they used to use as a place of worship. And they had less than 5 people, that were just meeting here, and they were always going around this palm tree and claiming this place for Jesus and claiming this place for Jesus, and something that didn't make sense, to our Muslim host. But from the 5 persons, the first convert was a young man called Tawe, who has gone to be with the Lord. When he became a believer, he got seriously persecuted. But the Lord brought other people, and we were able to come through Samaritan Spurs, to build this sanctuary, and then through the support of a friend of mine, Pastor Kerry Bertram, who was the missions pastor of the Southside Fellowship or church in Greenville, South Carolina. We built this guest house, which was primarily built as a pastor's reading room, because we realized that there were other indigenous missionaries that were scattered in different communities in Cape Mount, and they needed to form a bond. They needed, a place where they could develop their capacity. But that was not happening because a lot of them didn't have any Bible school training. They didn't have the resources. So we shared that need in the Southside Fellowship Church, and they decided to help us to build this, $15,000 United States dollars structure, and then provided, tons of books that we have. We have from pastors' references to youth books to different kind of books that people are now using. They can come from other villages and come and sit here and just study and prepare themselves for their ministry. So this is in a nutshell what this mission is like. The missionaries here that we partner with are from the Assemblies of God Church. So this is called the first Assemblies of God mission, in Cape Mount. Yes.